everybody. This is Steve Miller, better known as Kelly's dad, marketing gunslinger and the author, never get tired of saying this, the author of the Amazon best-selling book, Uncopyable, How to Create an Unfair Advantage Over Your Competition, where we talk about marketing and branding to help you be successful, find more clients, grow, everything like that. And one of the things that I stress very strongly in my book, Uncopyable, getting referrals, getting testimonials, getting reviews. We're basically in a review economy right now. Before you go to a restaurant, before we go to a movie, we check the reviews, don't we? Okay. Like recently, I was looking at having some work done around my house, and I was looking for an electrician, and I found this electrician who was actually pretty close by, and I thought, oh, I better check their reviews. And I went on, and they had 15 reviews. But when I went and broadened my search, I found a couple of other electrical contractors who had hundreds. One of them even had something like 1,500 reviews. See, and that's very powerful. Guillaume is the Chief Marketing Officer for Testimonial. I'll have the login for you during the interview on the screen. And they have put together, it is such a really smart way of getting people to provide testimonials for you. And then they integrate with so many different types of apps online that when you get people to provide written testimonials, or even better, video testimonials, they can be immediately, instantly integrated into your website. I love it. It's very easy to use. And so let's get me off here and get into my interview with Guillaume Bardet, the Chief Marketing Officer for Testimonial. I am with Guillaume Bardet.
That's right. Pleasure to be here.
Not bad for a Pacific Northwestern guy. And Guillaume is with a company called Testimonial, and their website, testimonial.to. This is a thing that I found recently that, to me, helps solve a huge problem in the B2B world. And that is, as you all know, those of you that have read my books, you know that testimonials, referrals, that stuff, it's huge. It's a huge thing, right? And I push it. I push the referral systems that we've got and things like that very heavily. But getting good testimonials is hard. It is really, really hard. So when and Guillaume and I were talking about this, I discovered this through a guy named Justin Welsh on LinkedIn, who is a god on LinkedIn. And he's got hundreds of thousands of followers, and he writes pithy little comments every day. He has a weekly newsletter called The Solopreneur and stuff. And I found, and he had a crap load of testimonials on his website. And I was just blown away by these testimonials, video testimonials, text testimonials. And so I dug in a little bit to it and discovered it was with a company called Testimonial, right? And so I signed up for it. And the cool thing was Guillaume, who is the CMO, all right, for Testimonial, actually reached out to me in an email, and not knowing that I was going to drag him into the rabbit hole here, and so I got him to come on today and talk to us, number one, about testimonials, the importance of testimonials, what happened that caused this company to get started. And so Guillaume, welcome. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for having me on, Stevie. It's a pleasure to talk to you. And, it was great to connect with you via LinkedIn at the time and get to know what you're using Testimonial for and to get on a call with you.
Yeah. This is fantastic. So right out of the box, of course, I'm telling all my clients, you got to get this, all right? And don't get it without my affiliate link. I got an expensive wife, a more expensive daughter down in San Diego that I got to pay their bills too. So Guillaume, first of all, tell us a little bit of your background. Where you I know you live in San Francisco now. You're originally from Miami, which is why you have the Cuban accent that you're talking. No, of course not. Of course not. You're from France. Where in France?
Yeah, so I was born in Paris and I moved to Miami when I was about 13 years old. And I spent a lot of time working in the music industry at the time. I was creating different events in Miami. So we rented out, like, for example, the club behind the American Airlines Arena. And so I brought in for the first time Avicii, which was a fairly unknown musician at the time. And so then I started doing various events like that and brought in different musicians for the first time and slowly got into kind of marketing for those musicians. So it was creating a network and helping them get promoted within the network. And so after that, after spending about 10 years in the music industry, I had a lot of different projects that I was tackling. So I created my own software to help me manage all those bookmarks. And so at the time, that one was called Clearly, which I just actually sold about 2 weeks ago. So it's a bookmark manager that you can install on Chrome and manage your bookmarks that way. And so then it all connects.
It's a Chrome it's a Chrome extension then.
Yes, exactly. That you Clearly with a Q, and so you could just look it up on the Chrome Web Store.
Okay.
And so then, funny enough, all of it connects because I pretty much sold the software on AppSumo. And eventually started working for AppSumo. And so then, yeah, exactly. Okay. And then as I was connecting with a lot of different makers around the world and stuff like that, I connected with Damon a while ago and slowly built a relationship with him. And around October, I started working part-time with him. And then in January, I went full-time with Testimonial as the first employee.
You're number one.
Yeah, exactly. We're just slowly growing. And now we're hiring 3 different people.
Yeah, and so you moved to San Francisco, and
that's right.
I know he's very happy, as you all know, with the weather this year in California. So you joined Testimonial, and you're employee number one. Can I ask how many employees you guys have right now?
Yeah, so we're currently just 2 full-time employees, but we're looking at hiring 3 different people, and we're quickly, we have a lot of contractors and stuff like that we've been working with. So it's already been a fairly active team, but we're just 2 only full-time employee on the payroll.
That's cool. I love it. I love when I hear companies, I've worked over the years and worked with some that, got venture capital and all this sort of stuff. And, and I love it when companies start very small. They kind of bootstrap themselves to
exactly how it was
to reaching a point of success before they start going out and looking for any money, if they do. So anyway, so good for you guys. That's awesome. Very good. All right, let's talk about testimonials.
Of course.
Why is it so hard for people to get testimonials?
Well, it's the timing when people ask for them. There's a lot that comes into play of making sure that it's collected at the right time from the right people and not just sending it. Because, somebody has a software or a course and they have 1,000 members or users, and they just email everybody asking for the testimonial. And that just kind of pretty much leads to either your emails not getting opened in the future and this sort of stuff because it just didn't work out. The request was not personalized enough. So then on the other side, there are people like Justin Welsh who do it at the perfect timing.
Right.
So in his case, he pretty much collects it within the course as somebody is finishing the course. So it's like a little extra module within the course. And as you're finishing it up, it just asks for a testimonial. And so this is just the perfect timing because the people are engaging with the content already.
Now,
so,
go ahead.
So I think it really comes down to timing and making sure you ask the right person at the right time. So either by automating it within your course like that, or then emailing the right people that have, for example, completed your course or this sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm. So like in a course situation, like with Justin, I got one of his courses and, started to go through it. Now I'd already contacted you by, before that, but then as I got into the course, I saw how he was. So what Justin is doing is that as you go through the course, you reach a point. You're about 80% through the course.
Yeah.
All right. And then he just drops a little video in where he says, "Hey, just quick ask here. All right. Can I ask you a favor?" And he says, if you've been getting value out of this, if you feel like that this is something that that is helping you, would you do me a favor? And would you leave a testimonial for me? He said, like if you can do a video, awesome, if not, but then he makes it's like right there, you just hit the button and pops up and somebody can just look right in their camera. It says to give us access to your camera and your microphone. And then they can go ahead and do a testimonial right there on the spot. And then, when they send it in to Justin, and Justin uses Kajabi, for his site, which is the site
like you are. Yeah.
we use Kajabi. All right. So obviously, when we saw that, we go, okay, all right, and then he's able to integrate that testimonial with Kajabi, so that when the people finish doing the testimonial and clicks, send or submit or something like that, it joins the rest of the testimonials automatically on his site.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a fully automated process. And just like you mentioned, I think what you mentioned is actually a very important detail, is the way he's asking for it. It's such a personalized and friendly way of asking. He's, like you said, he's asking, will you do me a favor? And if you were just to have the widget in plain text, it's a nice way to ask, but adding the video kind of makes you feel bad about skipping it, So you kind of want to watch the video and then you ask in a very friendly way about leaving a test. So you're really inclined to do it. And I think that's something that a lot of people are not really considering. They just put up the widget or something and just hope that it will work out. But I think if you put in that little bit of extra effort, it will really come a long way.
Well, and since we're talking to B2B companies, and for these guys, some of our clients, they're building $1 million machines. We have a client that builds tents for events. And I mean, you as a promoter must have, you know what that is, right? So
yeah,
tents, but they also have washers for these tents, right? And these washers are huge and they're expensive, right? And one of the things that we have worked very hard with these people is to get testimonials for them, and really pushing towards getting video testimonials, which is time intensive, because in most cases when we're working with them to get a testimonial, it's we have to set up a time for our client and their customer to get on to a call like this, right?
Yes.
And then get them on there and kind of coach them through a conversation and stuff like that. And it's time intensive. And this, see, as soon as I saw this, I thought, not only was this perfect for a course, but I thought even for somebody like with a company who has, super expensive equipment, they can still at that moment of truth when they've delivered a product, they've delivered a good experience, and then they can reach out to those people immediately and just say, "Hey, how's things going? Things going good? Are you happy? All right. Could you do us a little favor?"
That's exactly right.
Here's a link. Go to this link right now.
Yeah, exactly. And what's really nice too is it works very well on mobile too, for example. So for example, anything that's like even in the field, like you're talking about, you could pretty much have them do the testimonial as they're doing the task kind of thing, or as they're finishing up the task, or, or as they have the item around themselves. So it makes it, they delivered I just recently got a new oven. So for example, they deliver the ovens, they could just do the testimonial after setting up the oven. It's a pretty random example, of course, but it can be done.
No, but you see, yeah. So what?
Exactly.
Again, the bottom line is that for so many, every company relies on referrals. They rely on word of mouth. They rely on referrals, and the more, and especially in today's world, one of the things, especially in consumers right now, is if we go like Kay and I, we had a new deck built for our house. Okay. Well, when we went online, we're looking for reviews.
Yeah, of course you are. Because you're about mainly for something like this, you're about to, it's quite an important investment. You're going to see it all the whole time. You want it done by somebody who knows their stuff. So having and capturing and displaying those testimonials is a very good way to at least improve your conversion rate. When somebody visits your website, they'll feel a lot more confident about the outcome. And that's where
100%.
you can use a lot of different features by also trying to, let's say that you have different sales pages and different funnels. You can also try to make sure that your testimonials are appealing to that specific niche or that specific group of customers, because some people also try to kind of use very broad testimonials, and that's maybe not going to improve your conversion rate as much as having reviews and testimonials about that specific product.
Right.
So that's something to consider too.
Yeah, I'll tell you. Recently, I was looking at we have a street light in our yard, our front yard. Yes. It's right out at the end of the driveway. Okay, and the street light kind of kept going out. And we'd fix the light, whatever you call it. And finally, I just said, I got to get somebody else. I got to get a new one, right? Mm-hmm. So now I'm looking for an electrical contractor. Mm-hmm. And I remember going on to online, and I was looking, and I saw this one, and I thought, oh, okay, I'll reach out to those guys. But then I saw they only had like 5 reviews.
Yeah, that's tricky, right?
And the moment I saw only 5 reviews, I thought, because then I looked at other contractors, and there were contractors and they had 400 reviews.
Yeah, exactly. The problem is when you're stuck at the 5-10 reviews, it just feels like anybody kind of could generate that. It doesn't feel like you actually went away from your close friend circle, kind of, because anybody can get 5 reviews. That's the simplest task. It's getting 100%. To 15, 20, 25 of real customers. That's when things get interesting. And I think something that a lot of those businesses, I think, should consider is there's a lot of automation with emails and text messages these days. When you order your food, it's like ready and you get the message, or your delivery for an item is delivered. I think there is a very good opportunity to potentially collect testimonials.
Wow, that is a really solid point there, because like you say, they're all set up with autoresponder, some type of system
in some way.
That could drop right in there, very, very neatly.
Exactly.
You know what? I didn't ask you before we got on. Mm-hmm. Do you can you show a little bit, or could I could just go find Justin's site and pull that up?
Yeah, sure. Let's do that if you would like.
Okay, let me go find Justin's site, and I will pull that up and show what we're talking about. Show the actual.
That sounds great.
Yeah, why not? Let's give him a little. Since he kickstarted this thing, I'm gonna go to video course. Go to his LinkedIn video course. Okay, all right. So now I need to let me get us switched over. Where the hell are we? Oh, there he's got to go back to Zoom. All right, so I'm going to share, and here it is. So, and okay,
perfect.
You and I, okay, so you can see it fine, right?
Yeah, perfectly well.
Okay, so we are in I skipped through his homepage. Mm-hmm. And I went straight to, I can go back, show you guys, because you can see the homepage, right?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so here's Justin, very, very serious looking guy. This guy knows what he's talking about.
That picture is become popular now,
If you look at my website, I'm like a goof, and it's like, and people are going, wow, why would I ever want to hire that guy? But so anyway, and so he's got his video courses, and I'm going to go to the one that just blows everybody away here. The LinkedIn. This is a LinkedIn course. We're giving him a commercial here. Make sure you tell him we did this.
Yeah, we'll definitely tell him
that we're giving a commercial here on how you can use LinkedIn to grow your business. All right, and he says here he's had 11,000 students. Well, here is where the testimonials start to come in. Okay. All right. So now you can see there's a combination of right here is a text testimonial from Armando. And then right below is a video from Peter. All right. Now watch this, folks. I'm going to start scrolling.
And so if you don't mind, let's give them, I think something that's important here would be the fact that what's really impacting the conversion rate and what's actually making people believe and trust those testimonials is the fact that they're filled up. So in the sense that they have an image, they have the star ratings, they have a full name, and they have the date at the end of them. A lot of people try to kind of put very random testimonial that can kind of look like they were generated by anything. And with AI nowadays, you know, you can
solid.
even generate those images yourself.
What a solid point.
Yeah, I think this is really a big detail that's making people like, okay, maybe this could be fake, but he really comes as trustworthy, at least.
Yeah. And this is something that I keep, you know, and my clients are, and I want to say they're just as bad as everybody else. No, my clients are great, but they make the same mistake that so many people make. They'll put like a testimonial, you know, that they've collected from somebody, and it'll say, well, like here, if we look at Brianne right here, where she says they'll take something like, this course has been life-changing for my business, you know, but then at the end, they just simply write, you know, like Brianne.
Yes.
And that's it. There's no picture, there's no stars, there's no date, you know, or they'll say Brianne R.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and I keep telling my clients, these are worthless if you don't have a full name. All right. Mm-hmm. You know, but like you point out, Guillaume, that this is not only their full names, but like you say, they're rating it on a, you know,
there's the rating and the date also. And I think something else to keep in mind too is he has a couple of video testimonials. So it's like this perfect little addition that also makes it like he technically can fake all those videos too, you know? So it really comes off as very trustworthy when you have that little mix.
Let's see. You know what? I didn't put the sound on, so you're not going to be able to hear this. But I'm going to go ahead.
We can just still play. Yeah, let's.
Yeah, I'm going to play it. Might be able to hear a little bit through my microphone. Yeah.
But you see how he's doing it within somewhat what looks like a.
Yeah, he's in a factory. He's on the floor.
So he could, the same exact way that we were just talking earlier, that you could do it from your phone anywhere you are. That's pretty much a good example of that. You know, you can be in the middle of finishing up a paid task, you know, like those task rabbit sort of jobs, and get a bunch of reviews that way.
Yeah, and look at this. I mean, look at this stuff over here. We're not even halfway through.
So many of them.
You know, and like I said, this was the page that I saw. I thought, oh my gosh, where did this come from, right? So, I mean, fantastic stuff here. Really simple. So I'm coming into this thing. You know, I don't recommend Jack to my clients unless it's something that I personally know is a great idea, and even then, I don't always reach out and say, "Hey, let's do a video, let's do a podcast or something like that." And if you're listening to this on a podcast, you know what? Go watch the darn video.
That's true. That's a very good point. I've been consuming podcasts in a video format lately, and it's much more enjoyable that way. You feel a lot more involved in the conversation.
Yeah, the only time I listen to a podcast is if I'm in my car or something. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll listen then, but anyway. So, without beating a dead horse, this is not dead. This is a very cool product.
Very much alive.
Yeah, this horse is alive.
Running fast
and kicking, and pretty soon they're going to have employee 500, and and then they're going to take over San Francisco, and they're going to kick out Salesforce.
So here, if you want something that I was going to mention earlier when you were talking about it, which you mentioned about 2 to 3 times at this point, is when I first reached out to you. And I think that's something that a lot of, B2B businesses should do. Is we have a very simple Slack automation that pretty much sends every new sign up that we get on Slack. And it tells me the company LinkedIn profile and the personal profile if there is one. And so I recommend doing that. It's a very simple automation, and then you can actually connect with your users. because then the day that comes when you actually ask for a testimonial, there's a face behind the brand. It's not just an email, like emails are great. It's just when somebody is doing their jobs, they're gonna get that quite a lot. There's a lot of sales emails, this and that. Your LinkedIn connection comes off as pretty personalized, and it's something that I've been getting a lot of very good feedback from, and a lot of good, even feedback on simply doing that, but then even feedback on your tool and what you're building. So it's a very good way to do it, and I think more people should try to set that up.
It's great advice, Guillaume. And you say they can do that through Slack.
Yes, technically, whichever system that you use, you can find a way to pretty much connect your new signups to find a way to get their LinkedIn profile. However, whatever tech stack and however you can make it happen, it doesn't really matter.
Right. So, all right. So, what are the last words of wisdom here? We know that if they go, and I'm going to put this in the video, and I'll put it in show notes and stuff like that. Testimonial.to. But actually, I'm going to put my affiliate link in there. So if they don't use that,
you really should.
I'm an idiot for just saying that. So
it's a reoccurring revenue as well. So whichever customer that you bring in, it'll be reoccurring.
We're all helping each other. And,
exactly.
And if you've got a great tool like you guys do, then Kay and I, I'm sorry, my smoking hot wife Kay. Everybody knows her like that. And we are happy to promote stuff like this, and and the fact that if we can make a few bucks to go out and have a nice bottle of wine somewhere, then that makes us even happier. So
well, thank you for recommending us. It means a lot to us. We're such a small team in some sense that it means a lot to have people recommend us, because it kind of makes us like a stronger team together rather than us just Damon and I fighting to try to find customers. So it's always very nice.
Well, Guillaume, again, thank you so much for taking the time to come and talk to me today. I greatly appreciate it. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch your growth.
Well, what we could do is we could maybe catch up a little bit in the future, because you talked about doing radio, and I actually for a little bit of time every Sunday morning at 4 in the morning, I'd wake up to go and help somebody do live radio when I was 13 years old or so.
No kidding.
Yeah, that was in Miami, in a pretty big station with like hundreds of thousands of people listening, and we're doing it live with call-ins. It was a mess, So there's a lot that we could talk about. Those were
fun. I'll tell you what, radio was fun. Radio was
very fun days for sure.
Man, I had so much fun. I mean, I would go when my dad would be on the air up in Jamestown, North Dakota. I would be sitting somewhere in the room. And listening to him do that stuff, and then years later, when I was in college, I was the guy behind the microphone and
very cool
doing it myself. So it was a great time of my life, and radio is still warm, close to my heart. So
a lot of good memories with that.
Yes, sir. All right. Well, thank you again.
Of course, it was great talking to you, Steve.
Great to meet you face to face. We've been communicating quite a bit, so look forward to staying in touch. And
of course,
and like you say, we'll get back together again.
That sounds great, Steve. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me on, and I hope people will enjoy the episode.